Soldiers and Sailors Relief Act, if you will, and there are some benefits and protections that are built in. But if I worked for a company that doesn't exist any longer, for example, and that happens, then my job protection is not protected. And so we do know that we have some veterans that come back that fall into that situation. We also know that while some are away, there are economic conditions and situations that occur that, you know, the family gets behind in other payments and so on. And so even if there's been some relief of addressing that while the person has been deployed, there are some issues that come back and face them. And if I'm faced with some outstanding debt, and I'm faced with a situation where I may not have a job any longer, sure, those are obviously conditions that bring people in. And that's why what we try to do, though, is we try to bring them into the Department of Veterans Affairs. I think one of the things that we've done with this generation of veterans that we've never done before is we've tried to make sure the doors are wide open. We want every veteran who's served there to come in, to be seen, to be screened, to get a baseline physical, if you will. Because if you have a problem 5 years from now, and you may, we'd like to know, and it would be helpful for you to know what that baseline physical was showing us at the time. The other is it opens up doors. You know, we do in the homeless specific area, beyond what the department does generally, we do a lot of outreach to veterans who are homeless or we think are homeless. And what we know is that we're seeing a lot of them that we don't necessarily see later in homeless programs. And so we're kind of hoping that part of what that initiative is doing for us is connecting some of those veterans to employment opportunities that may exist in their community, other housing opportunities, their ability to come in and take advantage of their education benefits that VA can provide for them, or vocational rehabilitation services, or other things that we can do. Or maybe they just come in because part of their problem is physical health problems that they're having. They come in and that physical health problem gets addressed, and now they feel much more rigorous and vigorous and can go back and do the job the way they think it needs to be done. Maybe they're having a hearing deficit as a result of, you know, their military service. They now hear better. I mean, one of the problems we seem to find with some employers is, and some of the veterans, is due to hearing deficit, they don't necessarily hear properly. And so sometimes when you don't hear properly, you're told to do something, you don't do it, the employer thinks you're slacking off or there's a problem, and next thing you know, you're sort of on the unemployment line when it wasn't that you were intending not to do your job, you just didn't get the message.